Hello and welcome back to Challenge Fatty. Welcome to a very loud Brands Hatch. I'm not entirely sure you'll be able to hear me. So, as I said last time, this is going to be a very special episode because yes, this is another motorsport episode. This is another one of me doing motorsport, but this time me being a grown-up, and I'm constantly looking over my shoulder because it's a busy paddock here. Yeah, this time I'm going to be a grown-up. I'm going to be racing an actual car this time. This is, can an average bloke go racing? Now obviously I'm not going to be racing in Formula 1 or British Touring Car Championship or anything like that. This is the first step of motorsport, so I've decided to have a go with some help from my dear friends at Shine Automotive. We're going to have a go at EnduroKa, which, if you don't know, is a series for Ford KAs. You know, what your girlfriend had when she was 17 and she drove around in, and maybe your boyfriend, I don't know, open church. So, the series is endurance racing, so this one is an 8 hour and 20 minute race around Brands Hatch in Kent, and it's a lot more. There's a lot more elevation change than I ever bloody remember. I haven't actually driven the car yet. The first chance I'm going to get to drive a car is in qualifying, so that's going to be fun. Lots and lots of fun. So, in a minute I will show you what the car looks like. I'll do some lovely B-roll flybys. Well, you have to get a race license, which is just over 300 quid, and you have to get a Go Racing pack, fill that in, go and do your ARDS or ARDS test at a place like Brands Hatch or somewhere that does them. There's a website, trust me, just Google it. And you have to go and sit a test, which involves a theory and practical side. The theory is based on flags, race procedures, all that good stuff, all the interesting stuff obviously. And then you have to do a practical test with an instructor beside you, where you do, let's see, 2 laps with the instructor driving, showing you where to go, where to brake, where to turn in. 3 laps with him beside you and you driving, and him instructing you where to brake, where to turn in, and how to be consistent. And then he gives you 3 laps where he shuts up and then starts marking you, and you have to be consistent during that. Now, I'll give you the same advice I was given. If you're doing that, don't try and set lap records. Don't try and feel like you're qualifying for a Grand Prix. You are not. You are trying to prove that you are safe. So, be safe. Go at 80%. As long as you are not toddling around and being dangerous by toddling around, just go at a sensible pace. Nowhere near your limit. And be consistent. Because consistency is safety. So, anyway, once you've got your license, you then go off and get your race kit, which involves helmet, gloves, boots, race suit, fireproof undercrackers, all the good stuff. Then the fun really starts. Then you have to find yourself a drive. Now, I'm very lucky that Collin from Shine Automotive needed an extra person. I'm an extra person. I'm slightly more than an extra person, hence the name Challenge Fatty, and that means I get to sit in the seat for at least qualifying and hopefully a bit of a race. We'll see what happens during the race. So, right, okay, so the next step of today, other than me wandering around the paddock and almost getting run over, is a thing called scrutineering, where the car gets checked to make sure it's safe, or the safety gear which I own gets checked to make sure it's safe, and then there's a briefing at about 2 p.m. 9:45, so a few hours will be a briefing where they'll tell us what to do, what not to do, and then we'll go qualifying about 4 o'clock, so that it'll be into the darkness. And I genuinely can't wait. I am bouncing up and down with excitement. Really, really excited. So I'm sorry if this is getting a bit loud, because there is qualifying going on for other race series at the same time. This is the thing, you don't get to see that often. It's the fact that at club level it is quite a tight schedule. Today we're qualified today and we'll be racing tomorrow, whereas for other series it'll be qualifying and racing today, which is great in some ways, because it means you don't have to pay for too many hotel rooms and you can be done in a day, especially if you live close by. Anyway, gotta go. A couple of you are probably going to be saying, wait a sec, Rob, you did that 24-hour kart race earlier this year, you know how to race. It's like, well, yes, I kind of did, but this is, hilariously, this is the first time I've ever raced a car. So, and it's a very, very different world, a surprisingly different world from karting to cars. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more involved. There's new safety stuff to learn, new procedures to learn. So this is going to be as fresh as a new person coming into this. So I'm not acting like I know anything at the moment, because frankly I don't. I've been wanting to do this since I was a little boy. Well, you see all the press releases, but ever since I was a little boy I wanted to race a Ford KA. No, ever since I was a little boy I've wanted to race a car, and this is a golden opportunity. I don't think the opportunity is ever going to come up again. So why not? So jump on it. If you get the opportunity, I would highly recommend it. Okay, so scrutineering is done. That means all my safety gear is correct, present, and accredited. Anyway, it's good enough. I'm passed. The car has passed scrutineering as well, which means it's safe and ready to race. Next up is a briefing about 2 o'clock, and there's people being ignored because they want to. And then about 4 o'clock, I actually get to go out on track for the first time ever in a race car, in qualifying under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. And I've got 5 laps to basically learn the circuit, prove I'm safe, and set a time. No biggie. Anyway, racing. As I said, there are some other series who are qualifying and racing today, and then all tomorrow. It's the 8-hour race which we're doing. I've just found out that in my race is a Le Mans winning works Porsche driver called Mr. Nicholas Tandy. Yep, so yeah, first race against a Le Mans winner. No biggie, I think. And welcome back. So I've just finished qualifying. I basically had roughly 10 laps to learn the track with 47 other idiots chasing around after me, or being faster than me. Most of them were. Trying to learn the circuit in a car that you don't know is incredibly difficult. It's even more difficult when it's dark. But yeah, hopefully during the race I'll improve and get a bit quicker. But I went from being very, very pedestrian around the 1 minute 20s, which was pretty much first flying lap, to a 1:18, to a 1:11, to a 1:10, to a 1:08. Fastest the car did was a 1:03, so I am miles off the pace. and I really need to pick my game up. The other two drive, well, the fastest guy was a 103, late 103s. The other two were 105s, so I want to try and get to about that pace. Anyway, I will see you in the morning for the actual race. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Brands Hatch. Now, God, whichever one you believe in, obviously heard my bitching and whinging last night about the fact that it was difficult to learn a new car, a new circuit, surrounded by other people in the dark. So what they have done is they've sent the rain, a lot of rain. So the next time I get to drive a car, it's going to be absolutely tipping it down, which is going to be fun, proper fun. Yeah. And one of the issues I had last night was the seat wasn't quite set up for me, so I felt like I was stretching to reach the pedals and didn't feel entirely comfortable. So that's something for me to work on. I always, when I get in karts, it's always differently set up, and it's never how I want it. It's just a case of getting used to it. And if I'd had enough money to do a test day, I probably could have got used to this car a lot sooner, and I wouldn't be complaining like a little bitch when I have got a massively amazing opportunity in front of me. A rather damp at the moment opportunity. I don't know if you could actually hear the noise of the rain hitting the car I'm sat in. But yeah, I am immensely grateful to Collin and everybody from Shine Automotive for this. I'll never be able to thank you guys, and also to Dave for putting me up last night and taking me up for food. Thank you very much. That was amazing. I just want to get these in now. Just not quite my last will and testament, but let's. Seems to be getting darker. Bloody 8 o'clock in the morning. Why the hell is it getting? Oh, that's right. Big black clouds of rain. Right. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to shut up, and next time I speak to you, it might be on the grid. This race starts in 2 hours, at this rate, behind a safety car because it's raining. Okay, speak to you soon. I'm not too sure if this is going to come out or it's going to be too dark in here, but I want to while I've got the opportunity, I wanted to show you what it's like being in an EnduroKa. Now, everybody's going to giggle the fact that it's an F4 PA, well, it is what it is, which is the step on the racing ladder. So this is the interior. So you've got lovely roll cage behind me, 5-point harness, racing steering wheel, lap timer, camera system, fire extinguisher. It's amazing. To be honest, I do genuinely love this thing. I just can't believe how much grip it's got, and I've got to have faith in that grip. Well, when I say grip in the dry, I have no idea how much grip it's got in the wet. I'm sure I'll find out. Okay. You know, at the British 24 Hour, I was in like PTSD mode because of the rain. I think somebody's just... Oh, this is getting insane. Hopefully, in the next couple of hours, this will calm down a bit. I hope so. Welcome back to a now sunny Brands Hatch at the infamous Haddock Bend. Here's our boy coming along. This is Chris. Doing well. We're inside the top 20. It's been incredibly greasy so far, but with the sun being out finally, hopefully going to get a lot quicker, a lot sooner. And that means by the time I get in the car, there stands a chance of being some grip out there. So hopefully I will make a complete tit of myself. Not promising, but I won't make a complete tit of myself. There's just less of a risk of it. Anyway, what are we going to do next? I'll cut across to some B-roll of me. There won't be any, I've got to apologise now, there will not be any on-board footage as far as I'm aware, unless I can get it off the actual in-car camera because, well, we're not allowed to, well, not we're not allowed. All the footage is under the rights of MSV and the race series itself, so I can't put this camera in the car and then just use the footage willy-nilly. So hopefully might be able to get some from Collin and put some footage in of me actually either during my qualifying stint, which is all of about 10-12 laps and most of that's behind the safety car, or of me when I'm actually racing, subject to any investigations afterwards. Anyway, speak to you soon. Okay, hey back everybody. Hello and welcome back. I've had my stint. I was out for just over an hour. Really, I can't put into words how much I enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Set the fastest lap of the team so far. It's getting drier and it's getting quicker, and there are quick people in the team, so they will go out. When Chris gets a dry session, he will absolutely destroy the lap I set. But I'm over the moon. I can't thank Collin enough. I just really enjoyed that. Got as high as 7th because everybody pitted. So I was off sequence, and yeah, I loved it. I can't recommend this enough. I know it's very expensive to do, but yeah, it's an amazing thing. Anyway, I'll speak to you later. Hello everybody, we've got about an hour to go. We're currently in the top 10. It's getting a little bit stressful. In fact, it's really anxious. Don't want to say anything in case it's like a jinx. So this will probably be the last time I speak to you until either we're back in the shed or the checkered flag has flown. So speak to you soon. Hello everybody and welcome back to Challenge Fatting. Welcome back to the shed. Now, as is tradition, I'm going to go through what happened after the race back here, because as usual I was either too tired or too excited to get any details afterwards, which in this case was a shame, because at the end of the race we finished 8th, which is one of the best results I believe Shine have had this year, which got even better a couple of hours later when 2 teams were disqualified, taking us up, well, 3 teams were disqualified, 2 of them were ahead of us, so we became 6th in the final results. Now, first of all, I want to downplay any idea that this was because of me. First of all, I did 1 hour. I did 1 hour and 14 minutes of driving, mainly because I was standing in for somebody. There's a whole reason around that, I'm sure. In Shine's video they may go into it, they may not. Not for me to say. So I got to sit in at the last minute and race a car, which is something I wanted to do since I was a kid. I desperately wanted to be a racing driver in whatever way I could do, whether it's on go-karts or in this case in an EnduroKa. Now, let's see. What thoughts about the weekend? Going racing is stressful. You put quite a lot of money into this. I think I mentioned it. It's around 270 to 300 quid for your race license. Then you need a helmet over £300, race suit £300, boots, gloves, that's another couple of £100, and then you've got to pay for your actual drive. Now, there were teams doing a full drive, arrive and drive, which you basically turn up and you do what I did, but you get about 2 hours, 3 hours worth of seat time, and they were charging anywhere between £800 to £1,500 for, or beyond for that one weekend. So it's not a cheap thing to do, and I cannot thank Collin enough for the opportunity that he gave me at a, let's call it an undisclosed fee, to do what I did. Yeah, there is a little bit of stress of you've paid all that money, you don't want to make a tit of yourself, and for me, going out and doing my first laps on a circuit that I'd never driven in the dark in a car that I wasn't 100% comfortable with because I wasn't fully on the pedals the way I would want to be, that was a very steep learning curve, one that I enjoy immensely, and I will take from memory to my grave. Loved it to bits. I did feel frustrated with myself for not getting to grips quicker, but then again, I don't think I have high expectations of myself. I don't know if anybody else did. It's not like you could you just jog up to your first 10k and suddenly be miraculously running at the same pace as everybody else. It just wouldn't work. You couldn't do the same on a sportive. You couldn't just rock up on a decathlon bike and suddenly be, or even a crit and suddenly be at the front. So maybe my expectations were a little bit out, hoping that some of my knowledge from karting would cross across to this. But when I actually got to race, I was thrown in during a safety car, literally thrown in, thrown all my gear on and ran through the garage, putting everything on, clipping everything in, and then jumping into the car, went out, and luckily I got to pace pretty quickly, quicker than I was expecting, lap wise, nice and consistent, which is always good for endurance racing. So highs would be eventually being on pace, being able to do that as a 40-odd-year-old person, no experience, jumping in and being there or thereabouts, massive high for me. I was buzzing, I was grinning from ear to ear. I was on the radio telling the team exactly how happy I was, how excited I was, the fact that I was smiling from ear to ear. The fact that I overtook people was another major plus for me. I was giddy with excitement. Lows for me would probably be my own mental lows of not jumping in quick enough. I probably, if I had the money, I probably should have done testing beforehand, because the whole thing about me getting used to the car made such a difference. When I was used to the car in daylight and I knew where I was going, my confidence was through the roof. Wet Saturday night, after qualifying, having 12 laps and 6 of them being on the safety car, my confidence was, I wouldn't say shot, but it was pretty low. So definitely, if you could do testing, do testing. So, challenge fatty. Can a fat guy go racing? Yes, very easily. Not cheaply. If you're in any other situation with me, no, not cheaply. Again, thank you to Collin for this, and I'm sure Shine Automotive, link in the description below, will have a video out mentioning this at some point, because it was such a great result for them. Again, I did 1/8 of the race, so my contribution is minor at best. Chris Pryor, who runs Chris Pryor Graphics, did, I think, over 3 hours worth of driving, so he did the lion's share and was the quickest. Nathan and Collin are amazing. Nathan is pretty new to racing as well, but he got in and was setting fast, consistent times in very changeable conditions, so amazing work by Nathan. I truly envy him the way he was able to bounce between wet, greasy, dry, and not let him phase him. Collin obviously owns the car and runs the team. He's the hero, he really is. I can't say enough. Just the way he can just bolt himself in and go, doesn't matter. Yes, initially I was slightly quicker than him, but that was because I got the dry track first, and as soon as he goes out, within a couple of laps he's down and faster than me. So hero. Collin, you're a hero. That kind of sums up the weekend for me. I want to say thank you to Collin, to Nathan, to Jed, to Ryan, Chris, Charlotte, everybody who's part of the Shine crew for the Brands Hatch Indy500. You have given me a huge memory to take away for the rest of my life, and hopefully we can do something else in the future.
I don't know what the next episode is going to be. I don't know what the next Challenge Fatty Challenge is going to be. If you want to make a suggestion, please do. Somewhere in the comments down there. While you're passing, there's probably a like or dislike button. Hit either one. I don't care. Because it's the algorithm, and all hell the algorithm. See you next time anyway.